Interim government controversy shakes polity, deepens APC and opposition rift. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news update, please click on the notification bell. There are growing concerns over the calls for an interim government starting May 29th, despite the fact that the Nigerian 1999 constitution does not recognize an ad hoc government in power, writes Leke Bayawu. The Raja plot to have the outgoing President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, hand over to an interim government is generating more noise across different sectors and sections in Nigeria. The Raja plan is to prevent Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, whom the Independent National Electoral Commission declared the winner of the 2023 presidential election, from being sworn in as the president the day Buhari resists power after 2 terms of 8 years. According to INEC, Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress won the election with 8,794,726 votes, while the People's Democratic Party candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, recorded 6,984,520 votes. P2B of the Labour Party garnered 6,101,533 votes, while Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigerian People's Party polled 1,496,787 votes. Dissatisfied with the result and largely blaming the alleged flaws in the electoral process, the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party, as well as their candidates among others, are currently challenging electoral victory at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. However, while the dispute who should be declared president-elect is being addressed by the courts, reports of an alleged plan to constitute an interim government hits the front burner of a national discourse in the country. For instance, some of the candidates and their supporters have been protesting against Buhari to prevent handing power over to Tinubu, a call that the APC and the PDP have condemned. The interim government scare is coming 30 years after the then military dictator, General Ibrahim Babangida, annulled the June 12, 1933 presidential election, which had MK Abiola as the claimed winner, and installed an interim national government led by Ernest Shonekan. The brutal military despot, General Sani Abacha, who succeeded Babangida, had toppled the Shonekan-led ING 83 days later. Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999, and the first person to have been elected in the Fourth Republic was Olusegun Obasanjo, another general and former head of state who was accused of seeking to elongate his tenure in office. At the twilight of his constitutional second term of 8 years, he was accused of having a third-term agenda. Ever since then, Nigeria has had 24 years of uninterrupted democracy, which many have feared might be truncated by an interim government. From as far back as February 3, 2023, about 3 weeks before the election, Tinubu, while addressing the crowd at the presidential campaign rally in Ado-Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State, wanted to create a scenario that could lead to the postponement of the general election. He said, "They're hoarding Naira so that we can be angry and fight. They want confusion so that the election can be postponed. What they want is an interim government, but we are wiser than them. We will not fight. Any rat that eats poison will end up killing itself." Governor Nasser Rufai of Kaduna State echoed Tinubu in a state broadcast on Friday 16th, when alleged that once Asiwaju Bola Tinubu emerged as a candidate in June 2022 and subsequently did not pick one of them as his running mate, his currency redesign policy was conceived to ensure that the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate is deprived of what they alleged it as a humongous war chest. They also sought to achieve any one or more of the following objectives. Number 1, create a nationwide shortage of cash so that citizens are incited to vote against the APC candidates across the board, resulting in massive losses for the party in all the elections. Ensure that the cash crunch is so serious, along with the contrived and enduring fuel shortage existing since September 2022, that the 2023 election did not hold at all, leading to an interim national government to be led by a retired army general. What happened to be a rumor going around and the policy received more validity from the Department of State Services, which on March 29, 2023 said it had identified some unnamed key players planning for an interim government in the country. In a statement by its spokesperson, Peter Afunaya, titled "The DSS Confirms Plot for Interim Government by Misguided Political Actors," claimed to know the political actors behind the plot. It read in part, "The Department of State Services has identified some key players on the plot for an interim government in Nigeria. The service renders the service considered the plot being pursued by these entrenched interests as not only an aberration, but a mischievous way to set aside the constitution, undermine civil rule, and plunge the country into an avoidable crisis. The illegality is totally unacceptable in a democracy and to peace-loving Nigerians. This is even more so that the machinations are taking place after the peaceful conduct of the elections in most part of the country. The planners in their many meetings have weighed various options, which include, among others, sponsoring endless violent mass protests in major cities to warrant a declaration of a state of emergency. Another is to obtain frivolous court injunctions to forestall the inauguration of the new executive administrations and legislative houses at the federal and state levels. Well, my own be say, in this interim government, I don't know who the planner. If at all there's an interim government that is being planned, believe you me, don't be what's it called, Labour Party people, don't be reading the planner. I can tell you that. Make APC and the Southwestern people, make them watch their back shot. Alright, on this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.